the idea that what we design and the experiences that we create for our staff, our colleagues, really does change lives. And this is the message that really has been in place for a long time now and really resonates throughout that of Microsoft. I'm very fortunate that I work in this ecosystem and this landscape as well. So good afternoon, my name is Joe and I'm part of the technology team here at SoftwareONE. I also play a part in our accessibility and inclusion initiative, One for All too. To me, diversity and inclusion is key to innovation and disruption because a more diverse perspective leads to better ideas. And of course, better ideas drive innovation. Everyone who works with or uses modern workplace tools should feel like they belong, and that the products IT and the business deploy were deployed and supported with those users in mind, to give people the technology that they need to work efficiently and independently from any device. Microsoft's goal is to create products and experiences for people to communicate, consume, and create content on any device and platform, from how we work together across Windows 10 and Microsoft 365, to how we play together across Minecraft, Minecraft Education Edition, and Xbox. The experience should be shared because when we work together and when we play together, we win together. And so when we're designing and providing tools for our staff, we need to be mindful that the solutions are not only fit for purpose and meet the business need, but that they meet the needs and requirements of all of our users, that everyone, regardless of ability, backgrounds, or requirements, can work together and be productive. This means providing systems, applications, even our documentation with everyone in mind. And of course, the future workplace should feel like everyone can be and is involved. That accessibility and inclusion is by design. I'm very fortunate to work in a landscape where this is the case, that there's so many great features inside Office 365 and across our desktops, our laptops and mobile phones to ensure that we can all communicate, consume and create content. Accessibility in 365 is a great talking point because it's something that we use every single day. And yet it's really rare across my time with working together with businesses, particularly IT departments, understanding their deployment strategies and roadmaps, their visions and next steps, how they aim to bring everyone along for the ride. It's rare still to hear from IT or technical project leads the impact these solutions have on the human side of technology, how we can work better together. Therefore, everyone in the business plays such a pivotal role in the technology strategy. It's not just driven by IT. Aligning the needs of your organization with the unique needs of your users. Successful technology transformation only happens because of successful human transformation. So today, in partnership with Pada later on, I'll be going over several features within Office 365. For those who haven't seen these tools before, I hope this is just the start of you uncovering some really powerful and compelling features designed to ensure that we can all work together. So I'm going to drop out of my presentation here. I'm going to open up my internet browser. And the first experience I'm going to show you is within Word. Typically, accessibility is a default within many Office 365 experiences. However, when we create content, accessibility might not be our default. So Accessibility Checker will alert you of real-time issues that make your content difficult for people to access. For example, it'll alert you of low contrast text that's difficult to read because the font color is too similar to the background. And it's not just a feature inside Word. I'll be demonstrating this feature throughout many Office applications, including Outlook when you're sending emails, PowerPoint and Excel as well. So here inside my Word document, I'm going to select Review up at the ribbon at the top, and then Accessibility Checker third from the left. When I select Check Accessibility, over on the right-hand side, it's showing me all of my images and graphs that are missing alternative text. The importance of alternative text is for those users who use screen readers. So for example, if you have an image or a graph on your screen, without alternative text, that content is almost useless to those who need to use a screen reader. In adding alternative text, you have the ability to add information regarding what that content is about and call out any particular features. For example, in a graph, you might want to call out that a particular chart or trend is happening over a space of time. Outside of Accessibility Checker is Immersive Reader. And this is a feature that's embedded into many Office 365 applications to insist in making your short and long-form text and content, prose, etc. accessible. In fact, with the introduction of the new Edge, Immersive Reader is built to make the web more accessible too. So inside Word, I select View. And over here on the left-hand side, I select Immersive Reader. And what this is going to do is take a particularly convoluted and distracting document and make it more simple for me to consume. So in this case, you can see that my content has expanded out to a full screen view. The words and the content are better spread, and it makes it easier to consume that text than if I was just looking straight at that document, distracted by the text and graphics, etc. I can select play.
The market opportunity.
And it's going to read my document out to me. I can set my text preferences, make the text bigger or smaller, increase or decrease the spacing between the text. I can select the font, or if I find black text on a white background too distracting or difficult to read, I can also select the theme of the content as well. Moving along, I can also separate out the different grammar aspects of my document too. Immersive Reader is not only an aid to assist those in reading content, it's also a learning tool as well. So if I wanted to highlight, for example, the nouns in my document and show me every single noun or adjective, I can do so. It's a great feature that helps build confidence in emerging readers who are learning to read at higher levels, or if you're not a native English speaker or reader, and it assists fluency in those areas as well. And finally, I can select to focus on specific lines, freeing myself of distractions as I roll through the document itself. Moving on from Word is, of course, PowerPoint. Intelligence is infused in Office 365 to help you do more with fewer steps. PowerPoint can be fiddly, small menus, smaller snapping, and I've spent hours, probably more minutes, on creating interesting and attention-grabbing slides in the past. So built into PowerPoint is Designer, a feature that understands the content, images, and text on a given slide and provides design ideas that could play into your potential slide deck, getting automated design recommendations second after you add an image into PowerPoint. So in this case, I'm going to select my first slide, and up on the ribbon at the very top, I'm going to select Design. As soon as I select Design, Designer opens on the right-hand side and gives me insight and different design ideas for me to implement into my slide deck. So potentially, I might want something a little bit more simple, more involved, different color contrasts, etc. It really is quite simple to create more engaging, more involved slide decks at the click of a button. If I wanted to create a new slide, I'd make that slide have a title. I insert an image from the web. And I'm going to search for hardware. And in this case, I'm going to select a chipboard, insert, and just using the text and the image, Design Ideas has already provided me with some really great slides that I could potentially use. Next is one of my favorite features within PowerPoint, and this is Presentation Coach. PowerPoint presentations in front of an audience can be a daunting experience. Public speaking has its very own tropes, of course, and it's an experience that's hard to overcome in private. It's almost like suggesting that you need to rehearse in front of a mirror to build your charisma. Presentation Coach allows you to practice and rehearse your PowerPoint slides in private, providing feedback to your tone, your use of filler words, making you aware of when you read content directly from slides. So here, I'm going to select Slideshow at the ribbon at the top, and then I'm going to select Rehearse with Coach. As you can see, my PowerPoint has opened in full view. I'm going to grab my trusty microphone here, and then I'm going to select Start Rehearsing. Now, forgive me as I try to trick the AI through use of filler words, or potentially reading content from the slide. Fit the person, not the box. Be inviting, never intimidating. Encourage curiosity, empower confidence. You get the gist. And as soon as I come out of that slide deck, it's going to provide me with my rehearsal report. So on screen, I've got a summary of how much time I spent inside my slide, the pace of my wording as I was presenting that presentation, and the pitch that I was using. If you're monotone, it's not an engaging PowerPoint presentation, so this is going to provide you with feedback as potentially how you can improve in the future. It highlights the filler words that you're using, like your knows, likes, etc. And it can also highlight the sensitive phrases that you might be using as well. So for example, if you use the phrase policeman rather than police officer. Presentation coach is a great feature for everyone to improve their presentation style. And a representation, mirroring Hector's point earlier, of a feature that, whilst born from accessibility, is a feature for everyone to use. And so outside of PowerPoint, I'm going to now move across to Excel. I want to demonstrate and highlight the message that these accessibility features are not just a bolt-on to these Office products. Inclusivity by design runs through all current and future Microsoft applications, from Excel to Teams to the new Edge. So I have a table of data available to me, though the header is really quite difficult to read. The famous yellow highlight and white text, whilst attention grabbing, is almost impossible to decipher. So up at the top here in the ribbon, I'm going to select Review and Accessibility Checker. And here you can see it's immediately pointed out the hard to read text inside my content. So from A1 to E1, it's highlighted it for me and suggested that I might want to use a different color for the content in the background to make it more readable. So perfect. My content is immediately more accessible because I don't have a yellow header making it impossible to read. Next, I want to highlight a feature that we've just seen in Designer, but with Excel as well. Certain tasks in Office are really click intensive. If you work with Excel day to day, you'll already know this very well. So up at the top here, I'm going to select Ideas. It's taking all of the data inside my Excel, and providing me with insights and potential uses of that data that I might want to include in my spreadsheet. But I can also ask questions about my data as well. So instead of having to figure out what insights will be best used for a particular scenario, I can, for example, type in here product. And immediately it's creating pivot tables. But for example, I can go and insert charts and graphs that also give me further insights into my Excel spreadsheet as well. Another example that I want to give of the idea that all of these tools and features flow throughout the Office 365 experience is inside Microsoft Teams. I have a message here from Pradeep. And in selecting the 3 dots or the ellipses on the right-hand side, more options if you're using a screen reader, I can scroll down, select Immersive Reader. And again, just like you saw in Word, this is taking me direct to my Immersive Reader experience, making it easier for me to absorb content from Microsoft Teams and have it read aloud if I want to. And so outside of Office itself, I want to go to Edge, and Hector highlighted this earlier. This is a great blog post if you haven't seen it yet. It's something very, very close to my heart. At the URL bar at the very top, I can select Enter Immersive Reader. And again, these features that I was demonstrating earlier are there for you to take advantage of too. So read aloud.
Getting into gaming. Top tips for accessible gameplay.
That was a neural voice, by the way. If you wanted to, you can of course change what neural voice you have available to you, including those in different languages as well. You can change the speed of the text that's included. And again, the text preferences, the grammar tools and reading preferences that I highlighted earlier inside Word. But there's one thing that I want to talk about that might not be too much to do with work, but more to do with how our children work as well. Minecraft for Education is an open world game that promotes creativity, collaboration, and problem solving in an immersive environment where the only limit is your own imagination. More and more schools across the UK and around the world are embracing Minecraft to teach subjects such as geography, history, IT, and development. So just like Office and Windows at work, we need to be mindful of our audience when creative, inclusive educational experiences for our children at school as well, providing freedom and educational environments for all. For example, students with autism who struggle with personal identity, creating a Minecraft journey that begins with self-portraits and personal narratives of their life and family, creating complex engineering tasks so that students with physical limitations can fully participate. Sean Arnold from New York City's District 75 talks through using Minecraft to recreate local environments like the school, their home, or a supermarket, so that students with mobility or behavioral issues can now traverse those potentially challenging environments safely in the virtual world before attempting it in the real world, identifying where safe, quiet spaces may be inside a school, or demonstrating where accessibility challenges such as stairs or slopes are inside a shopping centre, highlighting where the lifts or escalators are to help you get around. This isn't just about how we as professionals work, it's about how we and our children can play together too. Accessibility and inclusion is for everyone. So there is a reason I've opened this up, and it's to highlight the fact that accessibility is baked into Minecraft for Education. You're able to configure the controls that you use so that even if you can't use a standard gamepad or controller on keyboard and mouse, you can still use the Xbox accessibility controller too. If I come out and take part in this digital experience, on screen, I've got a bunch of text that may be hard to read or consume. But down here on the right-hand side, I click on the immersive reader icon, and this is taking me straight back into the very same experience that you've seen across Word and PowerPoint and Microsoft Teams and Edge today. So I'm going to drop back into my presentation. And I just want to talk about the fact that we really should be designing for accessibility because nobody's perfect. And if you just give me a second whilst everything loads in on my side. Forgive me, it's taken a few seconds for everything to come through. It's the standard trope, don't work with children, animals, or live demos. Andy made a really great point earlier that not every disability is visible. Not everyone who has low vision wants to use magnifier. Not everyone who has depression or anxiety will want to tell you, or their manager or their HR department. You may be presenting to a room of people, some of whom may have English as a second language or who are hard of hearing. We cannot assume that everyone who accesses our services and content doesn't have an access need themselves. My partner, who's happy for me to share this insight, gave me some really heartfelt awareness around how she feels when approaching job applications. Picture your current hiring processes, your applications, the websites, the captive portals that brings your future colleagues to you. When asked on a job application, do you have a disability? First of all, if I say no, I'm lying. If I say yes, then I'm afraid of being judged before the recruiter or employer has even met me, a connotation that I'm not enough. And regardless of hiring structures and laws, a feeling that prejudices will be made before they even meet me. And of course, if I say prefer not to disclose, I may as well have said yes. This anxiety is formed by past perceived exclusion and the impact and unwanted attention my partner may receive just for being different. Your future colleagues and workplace friends rely on an open and inclusive hiring process, a human-centric and rewarding onboarding, and an accessible and diverse working environment once they join the organization. When thinking to your own organization's digital transformation, the tools and resources you use every day, could you be working closely with other parts of the business to influence this change? Could you help shape what technology future looks like, being truly transformative, bringing everyone along for the journey? Because this is the honest truth, your business will absolutely benefit from being more open, more human, more accessible. Your employees contribute their talent to a company that recognizes inclusivity is a key principle for success. Your employees will feel valued and accepted for who they are, that they're enough. Thank you.